Is it unfair for transgender women to compete against cisgender women in women's sports? That was a question posed to me at work today, out of the blue. And it's not the first time I've been asked that question, so let me tell you how I respond. In my opinion, as a woman, as a formerly highly competitive athlete, full-ride Division I track and field sprinter, do I think it's unfair for trans women to compete against cis women in women's sports? No, I don't think it's unfair for trans women to compete with cis women because trans women are women. If 1 + 1 is 2. But let me tell you how I arrived at my personal opinion. In this conversation, we were talking about collegiate and professional sports, so highly competitive elite athletics. When thinking about how elite athletes get to the level of competition that they're at, we typically take two things into consideration: hard work and physical ability or physical characteristics. Have women athletes, cis and trans, put in an incredible amount of work to compete at the collegiate or professional level? Yes. And do women athletes, cis and trans, have bodies with the physical characteristics that make them competitive at this level? Yes. Traits like height, speed, strength, power, musculature, bone density. These physical characteristics and others can all play a role in physical ability and athletic competitiveness. And these characteristics all vary widely across people, across women, across athletes, across women athletes. And these wide variations across bodies already do confer advantages to certain athletes based on the bodies they were born into. Any so-called advantage that a trans woman might have is not significantly different from the wide variety of physical advantages that elite women athletes already have. And that's not even just my opinion. The research into trans women in sports does not show any significant advantage just by virtue of one being a trans woman. Not to mention the procedures in place by athletic bodies like the NCAA or the Olympic Committee that monitor regularly for any such advantage. Whether or not you agree on the efficacy of such policies, elite women athletes are born into bodies with competitive advantages and they put in the work. Trans women athletes are no different because trans women are...
So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. First things first, it's good to differentiate between facts and open opinion, mostly personal opinion. What that TikTok has said is her opinion, which should also be respected. The Constitution allows freedom of speech and everyone is entitled to their own opinion. But then, I think, okay, now this is my opinion, and now we'll also get yours. It is unfair to say that that transgender women has no added advantage than biological women when it comes to sports, because facts to be said, biological sex is a primary determinant on how someone performs in sports, because sports, or let's say physical activities, depend on power, muscle strength, endurance, and these things there is there's a clear distinction between male and female because of their chromosomes, because of the sex chromosomes, and therefore we can't just say that females, or let's say biological female, have the same capacity if they train well. Let's say that you put a transgender woman on the one side and a biological woman on another side, and then you put them in same condition, subject them to probably same training, then you expect them to perform the same. No, it can't work like that because of the biological differences of endurance, the muscle strength, the testosterone. Okay, these things are biological, my friend. In fact, let's first listen to what one of the athletes had to say about competing the transgender women. Take a listen.
I've experienced firsthand competing against an athlete who was transgender a couple years ago, and to put it into simple terms, it wasn't even a competition. The athlete beat us out in state multiple times and was faster than our fastest girl. It hurts my heart. It hurt my heart to watch all my team's hard work go down the drain by the simple biological differences. I not only fear the safety of my little sister, who is a freshman, so this is going to be impacting her for the next few years, but also all the athletes who want to compete. I may only be speaking for myself on this, but I'd much rather receive a pelvic exam than risk my life just to play the sport I love.
Well, I think it's unfair. or let me say according to me. I don't know what about you, but I think it's unfair to allow our children or our sisters to compete against transgender ladies because of the significant difference in their biological capacities. That one will be like I think that will ruin the sports industry mostly for women, and that's why whether you hate or love Trump, he has been against this transgender thing, and mostly this issue of transgender women competing in the same sports with biological women. So let's take a listen to what he had to say regarding this.
You ever see the weightlifting? Where they have a record that wasn't broken in 18 years? And they have, should I imitate it? You know, my wife gets very upset when I do this. She said, darling, it's not presidential. I said, yeah, but people like it. Should I do it or not? All right, I'm in trouble when I get home, but that's okay. What the hell? I've been in lots of trouble before. But no, you look at the weightlifting where 18 years it stands, and they have this young woman, and her parents are right where you are in the front row, and they're so proud of her, and it's like 209 pounds, and she's going to lift that. The record stood for 18, think of it, 18 years, and they put an eighth of an ounce here, and an eighth of an ounce here, little tiny little bit, and she's going to do it. Mom, I love you. I'm going to do it for you, Mom. And she goes, and she lifts, and she gets it, and Mom, I'm going to do it, Mom. Can't do it. And then a guy comes along, or a gal, or whatever. A transitioned person comes along. And he was a failed weightlifter as a man, but he comes along, 206 pounds. They put the little thing on, and he goes, boom, boom. And breaks the record like by 119 pounds. That's not right.
So imagine if that was your daughter or your sister who was being used there as an illustration by the president. You know, I don't know how you could have felt because probably you did your best that they may win, but then because of one thing or the other, someone just comes up called transgender, and then with that capacity to lift weights meant for men, they are given lesser weights meant for ladies. Then they win just like that. I don't know, but let's just be real with each other. This is not the right way to go. Okay, me, I'm a Christian and I'm against this transgender thing, and then I won't even allow it. Even if it was my capacity that transgender women be allowed to compete in the same sports with biological women, because it is unfair, it is unjust, and it will automatically demotivate these young children from participating in these sports, because what will be the point? I don't know what's your opinion on that. Let me give you time to comment. And also don't forget to subscribe. And as we always know, women and women and men and men. Thank you.
Trans women are not women. Women are women. Trans women are trans women. It's really not that difficult.